What's up, everyone? Welcome to Nickel City Mafia, the Rush Hour Show. I mean, Jake, I am so excited to be on this post game report here. What a game! What a game! 38 nothing. Buffalo loses to the Bears. But you know what? It's really a tale of two teams, Jake. Right? You got the Bears trying to work some things out, build some confidence going into the season under the new coach Ben Johnson. Whereas the Bills, I mean, there were no starters. I mean, the only starter you can actually say that played is either Hamlin or Bishop. One of those two were expecting to win the safety battle there. Other than that, there were no starters whatsoever. Now, the Bills' first team did get some play time on Friday. They had a joint practice with the Bears. So, they got some reps this week, but nothing today. So, Jake, I'll start with you. And by the way, thanks for joining me so late. I'll start with you real quick. What should a Bills fan take away from this game?
You know what? Last year we lost to the Bears 33-6, Mike. And I think Greg Olson said it perfectly. Basically this is an audition game. This is not anything to take too seriously. This is nothing to be, scared about. I understand, it's one thing when your backups look bad against the starters. That being the Bills backups going against the Bears starters, but it is another thing when they look bad going up against the Bears backups. So, I will say I think there is something to take away from that part of it, but I think overall they were also playing guys in positions that maybe not necessarily are their best positions either. Codrington was out there playing nickel for the longest time, and that guy should not be on a football field playing corner. He should absolutely be returning kicks because that's what he's really good at. So, you got to take that with a grain of salt, and I think at the end of the day here, we saw some positives, even in a 38-0 loss. So I'll leave it at that. It was a lot of negatives. It was way more negatives than positives for sure, but I'll leave it with that.
Jake, if I was getting put into timeout from my parents and I had to stand in the corner or for like 3 hours or watch this game, I would take the corner. I would think standing in the corner than watching this. It was absolutely brutal. But you're absolutely right in what the folks are saying there in the chat. The Bills are evaluating talent, and we're fortunate enough to be a Super Bowl contender, and this is what you want to see. Of course, I'm hoping for a little bit more when you're evaluating talent, especially some of our rookie defensive linemen that we played. They got a lot of snaps this game. And real quick, let me just go through the stats and just team numbers. I'm not going all individual and stuff like that. And then Jake, I'll come back to you try to find some of those positives that you're talking about. So real quick, like I said, it was 38-0. Bears had 31 first downs to Bills 12 first downs. Total yards, 528 total yards for the Chicago Bears, 180 for the Buffalo Bills. On passing, it was 357 for the Bears, 103 for the Bills. Rushing, 171 for the Bears, 77 for the Bills. Let's see here. Time of possession was almost double, 39 minutes, 12 seconds for the Bears, 20 minutes for the Bills. So pretty rough, Jake. So let me throw it to you. Let's start out. I have a quick question for you. Any player or players that impressed you tonight?
Well, I think Trey absolutely nailed it. Hancock was unbelievable. I thought he played extremely well tonight. Hopefully the AC is okay and everything is good there. But yeah, Jordan Hancock, I think he finished with 8 tackles on the night, and that is a dude who, even last week was making plays, and as a guy that's kind of a tweener at safety or possibly as a nickel corner. So definitely been playing a lot more safety as of recent, but not afraid to get a little dirty and make some plays out there. So love to see it. I think he can absolutely be a contributing factor on this roster this season. So hopefully the AC joint's okay. But yeah, absolutely Jordan Hancock was the one bright spot of this defense. I thought Dorian Williams actually played okay too, as far as linebackers went, because the linebacker play was not great. Andreessen really had a tough night, especially in pass coverage, just really did not shine whatsoever. I like that Jimmy Charlo kid actually a lot too, Mike, the kid out of Army that we had signed. I think he's pretty decent. But yeah, overall, there's not a ton of bright spots as far as the defensive side of things go. So yeah, I would definitely say Jordan Hancock stood out to me. You know, you look at the offense. You know, Frank Gore Jr. I thought played pretty well outside of the fumble.
Yeah.
Again, you know, had a pretty strong showing, led the team in receiving yards and receptions, and he also led the team in rushing, 8 carries for 50 yards. So, yeah, not too shabby.
Yeah. So, like you said, Hancock out with the shoulder injury. I think that was what, in the early second half, I believe. But yeah, before he left, he had 8 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. He continues to have a great camp and then a great preseason as well. So, no doubt he's making this team. And I'm just curious, Jake, like, we still haven't seen Taylor Rapp yet. Taylor Rapp's been injured. Haven't seen him. Obviously, the thought is he's going to be starting day one. But who's going to be starting next to him, Jake? Who's going to be starting next to him?
Well, that's just it, right? So, you know, you talk about Cole Bishop, and I'm a Cole Bishop truther. I thought this was going to be Harrison Smith 2.0, and I don't even know if this guy is fully healthy yet, but, you know, from what he's shown in game situations on tape so far, it has not been great. I mean, tonight was an awful night for him, so you really don't love seeing that. Now, we do have some guys such as Jordan Hancock, such as, you know, Derek Forrest, who really I haven't seen a whole lot of either, and I've talked him up quite a bit. I think this kid can play in the league. So, yeah, I think it is glaring right now. I've seen a lot of people posting on Twitter, you know, basically suggesting we should sign Justin Simmons and make that happen as soon as possible. Problem is, he's probably still going to command some money, you know, so, and I don't know how much cap we even have to work with at this point. I know that the Cook extension freed some up, so it's a possibility maybe, but I don't think there's going to be any moves made there. But yeah, if it's me right now, Mike, I mean, I'm a little concerned. You know, who's starting next to Taylor Rapp, and again, you know, we talk about Cole Bishop, but DeMar Hamlin too. I mean, he did not look good tonight whatsoever.
Yeah. For you know, funny. I'm going to say this: best players of the game for me is punter Brad Robbins. Right? Had a fantastic game. Shavers. I thought Tyrell Shavers showed up again. It was Mike White who missed him on Shavers put a nice move on the corner, was wide open.
Yep.
And he kind of overthrew him there. But Shavers again continues to impress. And I thought Mike White did not do anything to help a situation at QB2. So if I'm choosing here, it's still Mitch for the win. But there was nobody really impressing on the offense at all today. Other than, like you said, you mentioned Frank Gore Jr. He gets a lot of play time late in the game, and he does what he's asked to do. And other than that fumble, which, by the way, Jake, I don't blame that on him. That was just a great play. Somebody coming up, big dude behind you, and just hitting the ball perfectly. I don't know how many people would have held on the ball in that situation, right?
Yeah, amen to that. Yeah, I mean, it's just a hell of a play by the defensive player there.
Now, a player that I'm watched closely this game is Landon Jackson.
Yeah.
So Landon Jackson had a personal foul late in the game, which extended the drive. And I won't know. I mean, he had a couple pressures. I don't know what PFF's going to give him credit for. I saw at least 2 or 3 in the stat line. They show him with a pass deflection. I didn't even see that one. Basically, they didn't seem to run his way. But on pass plays, he did get some pressure, like I said, a couple times. But if I had to pick a player of concern, because he's the guy I'm watching, he's the guy I want to excel. And maybe it's too early for me to even think this, but yeah, from what I'm seeing right now, I'm a little concerned only because of his off the line. His off the line is just not as fast I was hoping to see. Other than that, obviously his athleticism off the charts, and I'm not going to beat on him too hard right now, just because it is early. And I don't know if any of the 3 defensive linemen, TJ Sanders, Deion Walker, I think had another play in the game where he had another good pressure. I didn't hear much about TJ Sanders. So he had 2 tackles, by the way. Deion Walker had 1, or Deion Walker had 2 as well. And like I said, Landon Jackson, actually, he had a pass deflection. And I believe that he's going to get credited with about 2 or 3 pressures. Anybody else that you had concerns in this game? Because I was really focused on those 3 guys, because I think we need those 3, especially early on with the 2 guys that are suspended for the 6 games of the season. These rookies are going to get some time, and they need to show up. Now, granted, it's a lot easier when you're in with Ed Oliver, when you're in with Gregory Rousseau, when you're in with Bosa. You bring in one of those guys, and you don't know. They'll probably excel because now you have all-stars around you, right? So it's a little different when you're having number ones on the Bears going up against these rookies, and so you can't take too much from that, Jake. What about you? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. There was one name I did want to bring up, Michael Hoyt. He actually registered a sack tonight.
Yeah.
I thought he looked actually pretty well. I thought he did a very solid job tonight. So that was promising. Unfortunately, he's suspended for the first 6 games of the year. So kind of a bummer. But yeah, your boy Landon Jackson, Mike. This is kind of the knock on him, and I think that's why he fell to the 3rd round, is he really needs to add some more moves to his arsenal as far as pass rush moves go. They called him 2-slap back at Arkansas when he was playing there. And, stuff that he can get away with at the college level, he's just not going to be able to get away with here at the NFL level. And I think he's very raw right now. He's got to add some more tools to his arsenal, and I think this is almost a red shirt year for him, if you will. Hopefully he doesn't have to play a ton because Joey Bosa is healthy and is crushing it, right? So, ideally he is just maybe a pass rush specialist, a guy that comes in to, relieve Bosa, give him some water or whatever, and then, come in for, certain plays. And honestly, my pass rush specialist, I still want that to be Joey Bosa. I don't want that to be Landon Jackson. So I think this is a good learning curve year for him. And he needs to certainly add some more moves to the repertoire. The guy's an absolute specimen. I think he can play at this level. I'm not overly concerned or anything like that, Mike. I just, from what I've seen so far in this preseason, definitely can see the rawness coming off him.
Yeah. And Steve, this is exactly what I said. Steve says, the difficult part about the handful of roster players that played is if you are surrounded by crap, you will always smell and perform like crap. I turned it off. I watched the Grant Horvit Golf Channel. And Epinesa, he played some snaps as well, really, and didn't do anything either. So there's a guy that's been with us for years now, and he wasn't able to do anything special. I don't think he got too many snaps. I know he played first quarter. I'll have to see what the snap counts are.
That was about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was about it for him, and maybe it was just a few drives. But yeah, so again, not too alarming, like you said, Steve. I think you nailed it. It'll be much different when TJ Sanders is in there with the other starting 3. It'll be much, and the linebackers, all the starting players are there. Much different situation than you got a bunch of rookies around you who are just learning the NFL. Mm-hmm. So good stuff there. Let me catch up with the chat and say hi to everyone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to recap this, and let's see. Trey's out there. Good to see you, Trey. John Robert, thanks for joining us over there on Facebook. Chad the Chief, thank you for joining us. Great to see you again. Trek Reviewer, you know what? They sat all their starters, meaning Cam Lewis, who also didn't play. Guess what? He's a lock. Come on now. He's a lock.
I think so.
Absolute lock. And that's the guys. Zebel, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for joining us. Damar is worrying me. I don't think he could start. Cole Bishop seems to be the better option. I don't know if I saw anything that impressed me between the two.
That's the problem.
Zebel, right? I mean, could you see Hancock potentially winning this battle and starting? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I think it's a strong possibility. I mean, the way he's been playing, it's very impressive. I mean, he's been the bright spot in both games defensively to me. So he came in, as a 5th round pick, kind of people a little surprised about it, because I felt like, the value of getting him in round 5 was extremely good, so yeah, he's going to be a difference maker, I think, in a way that, he'll actually make the roster and get some meaningful snaps this year. So, yeah, there's a very good possibility.
Yeah, Weston, if I didn't say your name, thanks for joining us, sir. Good to see you out there. Go Bills podcast. Brett, good to see you out there. And did I catch up with everybody here? Let me make sure. Steve, John Robert, I already mentioned him. My dad's out there. Should be a line tomorrow.
Oh boy. Let's see what Bill's saying.
Should be a line tomorrow of players getting airline tickets home.
Like back to their actual home, not back to training.
I know what he's saying. Like we're going to start releasing players soon, right? Based off this game.
Right.
in my opinion, Steve coming in with, in my opinion, Bean and McDermott punted this game for health reasons. They got to see what they wanted in the controlled joint practice. Stay healthy, Bills. 100%, Steve.
Yeah,
100%.
good
Mention
point,
that as
Steve.
well. The first teamers did get reps on Friday, and why would you not take it easy, right? Evaluate some talent, get them out there against some first teamers on the Bears side, and see what they can do. These are all
Keon
valuable
Coleman
reps. Yeah,
had some incredible catches. If you
yeah,
saw the clips, Mike, I mean, he looked great. So
yeah.
that's always encouraging to see too.
Yeah, Brett saying, I wonder what they're going to talk about on Hard Knocks this week. We'll see. Um, I don't know if they have enough time to talk about anything that happened today. Maybe from Friday. I don't know how quickly they're able to edit these things. John Roberts saying Tyrell Shavers played decent. Yeah, he did again. And again, he would
Yeah.
have had a big game had Mike White hit him on that wide open deep pass. And the 26th is the release date. So I think I got everyone caught up, Jake. So let's see. Questions I had for you, sir. Again, we talked about some of the players that you were impressed with. We talked about Landon Jackson a little bit. And I think we basically any players that you're concerned with. We mentioned Damar Hamlin, Landon Jackson, maybe. But again, still too early. Kid's a rookie. Let's give him a chance for sure. Anyone else? Anyone else you could say you're concerned a little bit about?
Not really. And
Yeah.
again, concern is such a strong word to even say. I mean, I think it's valid to say maybe the safety room, right? Just
Yeah.
because you're so hyped up about the second round pick and Cole Bishop, especially me. I mean, I'm thinking this is going to be the next Harrison Smith, which is a huge claim. I mean, this is a future Hall of Fame safety that I'm comparing him to, right? So the fact that he hasn't really flashed on the field is, I guess he's flashed in a bad way, if anything, right? So hopefully he figures it out. Just kind of going through some growing pains, but yeah, I thought Wilkerson played well. Actually, KJ Hamler, I thought did some nice things. He had a 15-yard rush today, so that was decent. It was good to see.
Good
Yeah. Other
question,
than
Jay.
that,
Hamler greater than Elijah Moore, maybe. I mean, I'm same
Elijah
thing.
Moore had a tough day actually
Yeah, I
today.
saw a couple like even last preseason game. I thought Hamler showed up, had a touchdown in that game, and
Yeah.
here he is again. I don't know. Elijah Moore. I mean, everyone's been thrilled to have him, but maybe he did play. I think he had one drop at least. Didn't do a whole lot. It's not that he had great quarterbacks or great quarterback play today, but I don't know. Hamler's actually been shining a little bit. Track of
Yeah.
yours. So I got a trivia question. I want to
Love
start
it.
you off with. This is going to be an easy one for you. If you got this wrong, I would be worried about you, Jake.
Okay.
That is, what is the oldest stadium in the NFL, and how
I mean, we
old
played
is
it in
it?
tonight. It's Soldier Field,
I
and it's
handed that
crazy.
to you.
So there's been like multiple phases of renovations done to that stadium,
Mhm.
but the overall foundation has remained the same, which is pretty incredible. Dates back to the 20s, I believe. So yeah, oldest stadium in the NFL
Why
and one of
don't
the oldest stadiums in the US, I think in general.
Yeah, 101 years, dude. Now
Crazy.
they are looking, but it's nothing finalized yet. They are looking for a project to build out a new stadium. I think the GM talked about that on the game tonight, but they mentioned that.
Yeah.
Not really sure how far along that is, but it's coming in sometime in the probably next 5 to 10 years for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Go ahead and answers Trek reviewers question.
It's a great
here
question,
for you.
Shrek. I got to say, just it's hard because you have some rookies factored in here. So, kind of going off of that, I love Eddie Oliver. No disrespect to him, but this is when Marcel Darius was like Marcel Darius, and then Kyle Williams, of course, one of the greatest Buffalo Bills defensive linemen to ever play. Outside of course, there's Bruce Smith, who is at the top tier, but you think of like your Hall of Fame, or I should say Bills Hall of Fame defensive lineman, Kyle Williams is right in that discussion. So I got to give it to that 2016 room. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Jarrell Worthy, if you remember, I mean, after that kind of started to become a player, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always forget, if you guys can just take a second and smash that like button for us, greatly appreciate it. If you're new, most of you are not new, but we get a lot of folks that catch us on the rewatch. If you're new to the channel, please drop a nickel on that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Let's see here. I think Trey's coming in saying that Trubisky won the job, which his mobility is a big plus. Mike White just, man, I had some hopes for him after last game. And I thought maybe, slow start, maybe to pick it up. It never happened. So again, it's a little difficult. Let's rewind a little bit. I think when Mitch played for preseason 1, he played with some of the starters. Some of the starters were out there for sure.
Yep.
Mike White didn't get that luxury at all. So he's playing with an O-line, all second, third stringers. He didn't have Coleman. He didn't have, obviously, Shakir, but neither did Mitch on preseason 1. So he played with less. So you got to take that into account just a little bit. I was glad to see him start. I wanted it to be a fair competition. I wanted to see Mike White get to play with what I thought would be the ones, but that didn't happen, Jake. So I don't know. I don't know if I do agree with you, Trey. The mobility alone, to me, wins in the job. And then, of course, I think if you were to ask Josh Allen who he wants, it's going to be Mitch, 100%. Mitch didn't do anything to really lose that job tonight. So let's see here. Yeah, agree, Trey. Mike White, a little too easy to get sacked. Let's see. Brett says, are you concerned with our offensive tackle depth behind Dawkins and Brown? 100%. But again, I say, I go back to what Steve said. Who's around them? Who was around them? Ryan Vandermark had a horrible game. Let's face it. Richard Garage wasn't much better. Be interesting to see PFF stats. But
the thing is, when Vandermark did play like last year when he came in sparingly, he played well. So you're exactly right, Mike. It is you're kind of a product of your environment in that situation.
Exactly.
So
John Roberts saying Christian Wilkerson should be a practice squad.
He looked decent. Yeah.
Let's see here. They catch up. Love
Steve,
Hamlin
great trivia question, by the way.
Oh,
so he asked who had the most in the single season. Yeah, it definitely was Jay Cutler. Pretty crazy. Yeah, they're the only team in NFL history to not have a 4,000-yard passer. The other team that is close to that is the New York Jets. The last guy to do it was Joe Namath back in 1968, I believe it was. So kind of hilarious, to be honest with you, because 68, you don't think of 4,000-yard passers when you're going back that far in history, but the Jets have not had a 4,000-yard passer since then either. So pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I do want to emphasize, if you did not watch this game and you're a Bills fan and you wake up in
Wasn't
the
Eric
morning,
Kramer? No way, really? Wow.
And you wake up in the morning and you see the score, don't fear. Again, just know that literally no starters played in this game today for the Bills. Potentially one of the safety starters, but that is it. All right, so let's see here. When Tyron Grable is healthy, he's a good depth player. And then your Eric Kramer question there.
Crazy, man. That's wild. Yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, he got him by a few yards. That is wild. Eric Kramer, 1995. Damn. Did they have? I'm trying to think. Curtis Conway was the receiver back then. Jeff Graham, some of those guys. I think they had 2 1,000-yard receivers that year, if I'm correct. Someone's going to have to fact check me on that. But I know Curtis Conway was on that team, and Jeff Graham, who was in the league for a hot minute, played receiver. That is awesome. Great trivia.
Yeah, so Jake, Elijah Moore was targeted 4 times, had 1 catch. I know he had 1 drop for sure. Palmer was in maybe one drive. He had 1 target, 1 catch for 2 yards. And let's see here. Shavers had 3 targets, 2 catches for 29. And again, he would have had a nice gainer if White could have hit him. But yeah, there's not a lot to, and Frank Gore Jr. had 8 for 51 yards rushing. Frank Gore Jr., by the way, was also the lead in receivers, 4 catches for 30 yards. So Frank Gore has been getting a lot of play time last preseason, this preseason. It seemed like he got a lot last year as well. He'll be a practice squad player, but my goodness, I mean, you gotta love him. Gotta love him.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he is it's warming to our hearts too, because it's like we had his dad, Frank Gore Sr., who is going to be a Hall of Fame back just based on his longevity and what he was able to do in the league. And this guy just retired a few years ago, just barely missed his son coming into the league. Would have been cool to see those guys play together, but absolutely, this is a definitely one of those guys where you're rooting for him, and hopefully he can make the roster. It's going to be a tough one to crack just because we got Ty Johnson and Ray Davis, and it's just a loaded back room, So if he makes it to the practice squad, fingers crossed, I think that's where he will be.
I haven't seen Tony in a while, but good to see you,
Tony.
He says, didn't this exact same thing happen? And yes, Jake mentioned that last preseason, we lost to the Bears. You said, 33-6 or something like that? Was that what it was, Jake?
That's right. 33-6.
Yeah. Yep. 33-6. Yep. So you're exactly right, Tony. And again, there's nothing to really worry about. I mean, the only thing, like I said, it's brutal. It's brutal to watch a game like that. To not even have many high points. I don't know if there was, other than the punter and Tyrell Shavers and Jordan Hancock. There's not much to talk about in that game. But again, not worried. Bills fans shouldn't be worried. And so, in any case, here, let me catch up. Alec Anderson was with a healthy scratch as well. And Frank Gore Jr. did have a fumble. Up into the fumble, and I said this early, John. I mean, it was a great play by the defensive player. I mean, he came from behind him, hit the ball perfectly. I don't know many players that would have held on to that ball. I'm just saying, unless it was like a big dude, Derrick Henry, because he just big, physical. I mean, I think it was a lineman or a linebacker who just stripped him of the ball, just hit it perfectly. So difficult, but yeah, he's been playing very, very well, Frank Gore, that is. Let's see. Steve says, our practice squad may be a bit rough this year. I expect a bunch of guys to get claimed more than any other year. So, yeah, Jake, let's talk about that. Who on the practice squad could you see being taken? Now, remember, if they take him off the practice squad, I believe they have to be on the 53-man roster.
That's right.
The other team has to sign him. You have to remember that every team, like the Bills, has had players with them over the few years, had them on their practice squad, guys that they really, really like. And for them to not go to one of them and jump over to the Bills practice squad team and take somebody off of there, cherry pick, kind of tough. But maybe, even you, Steve, who do you think might be cherry picked? And Jake, do you think anyone you can think of?
I mean, we talked about Frank Gore Jr. a little bit, right? That's a very good possibility, I think, is like that third running back in one of these, teams that might be craving a running back that has had some injuries. I mean, you look at like even the Houston Texans. I mean, what's going on with Joe Mixon, right? Like, I know they have Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, but like maybe they need a third guy. Maybe it's Frank Gore Jr., right? So, you think of some of these teams that have dealt with some injuries, and these guys are putting on a show and kind of doing their thing in the preseason here. So there's, I think you look at some of those teams that are position hungry, and I think Frank Gore Jr. There's a chance there. There's a chance. Trying to think of some other guys. I mean, Shavers, absolutely. Hopefully he's a 53-man guy for us. I think he's the final guy based on what I've seen so far this preseason. But absolutely, he would be one of those dudes to get poached and picked up by another team.
That's only if the Bills go with 6, right? Because you see him slotted in at that 6th receiver. And I don't know, in years past, it's been 5 receivers. But typically they work some magic, right? Somebody gets put on the IR and they're able to put a guy on the 53-man roster and then throw him on the IR or something like that. So hopefully, because I agree, I think Shavers could be one of those guys.
Yeah, and then you got some other guys too, where like Steven Gosnell, he's had a really good showing this preseason too. And I don't know if he's a 53-man roster guy or not. But it's interesting to me too. We talked about Elijah Moore a little bit, and I think he's had a pretty strong showing for the most part. He had a tough night tonight, but a guy that seems to sort of fallen out of favor is Curtis Samuel. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Right. And kind of it's interesting because Moore and Samuel are somewhat similar in their skill sets. So and I know in McDermott's press conference the other day basically went on and on about every receiver on this roster outside of Curtis Samuel. So hopefully you don't want to read into it too much, but kind of curious to see what's going on there. Yeah,
definitely. Real quick, I do want to give you, if you didn't watch this game or didn't check the stats, just you want a quick recap. Trubisky threw for seven completions, 13 attempts for 55 yards, no touchdowns. We had no touchdowns. We had no points at all.
Awful.
Mike White, 4 of 11, Jake, for 54 yards and was sacked 2 times. That is atrocious.
That's
Atrocious.
tough.
I feel like these are professional quarterbacks. I feel like, Jake, if I told you to get out on the field and complete some passes, you'd have a better day than 4 of 11,
No,
54
no
yards.
chance.
Jake,
No chance.
come on. You would just heave some up. You'd heave some up, and there'd be a play that was made. I'm just saying.
I don't know,
Come on.
Mike. I don't know.
Jake, how far can you throw a ball?
I could probably launch 145 yards.
All right. Definitely. You're going to throw for more better than 4 of 11 for 54. Even if you have to throw a few screens, my goodness. Come on.
That's my only hope.
Come on. Well, I'm thinking. I know if Tony's still out there, Tony's like, I can throw for 4 of 11 with my eyes closed and for 54 yards.
Maybe shovel passes.
And he won't be sacked. Let me tell you, Tony's fleet of foot, Duke can run. So, hey guys, Chad.
Hell yeah, Chad.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hey guys, 2 questions.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you so much for the super chat. So far, which teams have been your biggest surprise and disappointment so far? Are you talking in preseason? So, Jake, I'm gonna have to lean on you. I don't watch a lot of other teams in the preseason. So, any thoughts you might be having there?
I might have to go with your Chiefs there, Chad. I don't know. I think there's been some inconsistencies there, but obviously some positives too. And here's what I think, though. I shouldn't even say it's a surprise because I feel like good teams don't care about their preseason record. They're just trying to get a look. They are trying to fill out their roster to create the best 53-man team they can. So while I just said that, I think that's basically the method that Andy Reid takes, and that's kind of how they operate. And it's obviously worked for you guys, having Super Bowl rings. So hopefully the Bills are kind of doing the same thing. It seems like they're trying to go that route. So yeah, that's where I am with that one. Definitely.
All right. And then he says, concerns about how the backups played tonight.
A little bit, because, it's one thing when it's backups versus starters, right? But then when you have backups versus backups, it could point to a more glaring issue at depth. Now, there were some things where like guys were sort of playing out of position. I think they were trying some things, but also, I mean, you could say the same thing for the Chicago Bears. I mean, you let them essentially almost get 600 yards of total offense on you. I mean, that's not a great look. And then our offense did not reciprocate. They didn't try to battle back or anything like that. So it is a little concerning. Hopefully no one gets injured. I think it's one of those nights, obviously, where nothing was really going our way. So you take this one, you crunch some tape and go back to the drawing board. But I think we'll be okay. Okay.
I think so too. And it'd be interesting to see it. I would love to be on fly on the wall during the tape review with McDermott and see how hard he is on these guys, or just how he is. I don't know. I'd love to get a feel for that. But again, Chad, thank you so much. And he says, I can't wait for college football to start. 11 days to Missouri.
Hell yeah.
All right. Love that. And then here's Tony saying 45 yards. Is that youth football? That was 55 yards, Tony. And Tony coached flag football. He coached the girls flag football team this year. And, they were raw, but he took them. And by the end of the year, they were competing. And he probably had a quarterback on that team. I don't know, what was it, Tony? What's the age of your team? 8-year-old girl. Probably could throw the ball for 54 yards, 55 yards.
Damn.
Throw into professional quarterback or professional wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's just rough, Jake. It just blows my mind that a guy who's played football, he's 6'5". Dude, 6'5". He's got a good arm. But again, he did not have the first line in front of him, the O-line. But even that, he was sacked twice, but that was mostly him, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, crazy.
How about this? You better hope none of your starters get hurt. Yeah, I mean, that thought has certainly crossed my mind, right? I think automatically, especially at the quarterback position, at least if you have Josh Allen there, right, and your other starters get injured, Josh Allen can kind of do some magic, But if he gets hurt, that's really when you start to just mail it in, and God forbid that happens. I'm not going to even put that out there. I'm done. Let's just kind of rewind that. Pretend I didn't even say anything like that.
Yeah. Tony knows, right? Tony played college football. These guys are going to get their ass chewed out in film. So, yeah, Thanks, Tony. I'm really interested because does McDermott go in there and they're calm and collective, or no? Are they beating these guys up, saying, "Look at it"? I mean, just really scolding them. So, love to get that insight as well. Thank you. Let's see here. Let's see. Goes to
Whoa.
Judah Tribe. Now,
Hey, now.
let me ask you, sir, what team are you supporting? And then he
I would
says,
assume a Bears fan.
okay, obviously. What am I thinking there? There he is. Look at the bear logo. Come on. Bajan greater than Trubisky, greater than
Wow.
Caleb.
I do love me some Tyson Bagent. There's no doubt about it.
Wow.
You know about his dad too, right? I mean,
No.
all-time, like all-world arm wrestler. Like the guy's a legend.
Okay.
So you got to look into him, Mike. Great stuff.
Definitely. Thank you. That's good stuff. So Ghost of Judah Tribe, based on what you see.
Bagent looked great tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, he really did. I mean, he's got some games started under his belt. I mean, Caleb looked great tonight though too. And I think, to be honest with you, you know, the fact that you guys have Ben Johnson right now, you're going to see so many different things. I was very impressed with how that offense operated. I love the 2 tight end system that you have going on. I think it's only going to benefit Cole Kmet. He might not put up like the good fantasy numbers that he once did 2 years ago, where he had like a 700-yard season. But like, you guys got Loveland, Cole Kmet, you even got Durham Smythe out there, who's a decent blocker who can play. You know, so I kind of love what you're doing. You still got Roshan Johnson. You drafted Monongni. I think the backfield's going to be nice, and what you have with Benny Johnson there, man, it's going to be something to watch. So you should be excited about it.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him. Ghost. I'm calling you Ghost for short. What do you think this year? What are you predicting record wise for your Bears? And then Steve, I saw that, sir. Love it. Sent you an email. Yeah, we're going to make all Bills tailgates better. I love it. Some tailgate food. Fantastic. I'll check out the email right after this, sir. Let's see. Ray Davis could have kicked as good as Caden Davis. On the one attempt that
he had the distance. It was just wide right, which we don't
wide
like to say
right,
those
which
words either.
I want to start seeing wide left. I'm tired of hearing the wide right. If Josh gets hurt, we will have a top 10 pick. Let's not even talk about that or hope about that. Hope for that. Yes, Bills are on Hard Knocks. It's Tuesdays, right? Tuesday nights? Yep. Tuesday nights. This would be the 3rd episode.
That's right.
Check it out. It's nothing crazy, honestly.
Yeah, not too much drama.
And this was my first time watching Hard Knocks, only because the Bills are on it, and I was expecting more drama. Maybe they will. But, you know, I guess to get the Bills to agree to something like this, they're like, nah, we don't want any drama, which makes for boring TV, Jake. It really does.
You know, it's kind of nice just to get an inside access at least, you know. But you're right, Mike. I mean, usually you have these battles and, you know, something comes up where, you know, in previous Hard Knocks shows, I mean, there's been arrests that's happened. There's been major injuries, and there's been none of that, which is good. I'll take it. Wow.
Look at this. He's saying, wow, big difference. Interesting.
Listen, I got a buddy that's a scout for the Chicago Bears, and I'm going to talk to him tomorrow, and I'm going to ask him this question. What do you think of Tyson Bagent compared to Caleb? Now, he was raving about Caleb, just saying some of the things that he was doing in practice, like behind-the-back passes, just making the defense look stupid. I think, you know, Caleb kind of gets a bad rap just with maybe like the ego that's been shown within the media and all that stuff, and I think people have been somewhat rubbed the wrong way at times with Caleb, but you guys, I think you have the right guy at quarterback right now, so you should definitely be happy about that. And this is no disrespect to Tyson Bagent, because I think Bagent can play in this league, absolutely. And you got one of the better backup quarterbacks in football, so God forbid something happens to him, you know, you have a serviceable dude that can run that offense.
Yeah, so let's see here. So Jake, who do we finished the season or finished preseason with the Buccaneers? When's that game?
That is, I think it's next Saturday, I want to say.
Let's see here. I
think it is the 23rd.
4:30 game. 23rd. So it's 4:30. I think that's my time. 7:30 your time. Night game? No?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so question for you, because Sean doesn't think he will play. Do you think we see Josh Allen for one drive? Maybe 2.
I don't know. You know, it's interesting because in previous preseasons, I think he played in 2 of the games last year. So, you know, you're curious, like, what are we doing with that? Is there going to be just even a drive, you know? I don't know. I don't know what to expect there, Mike.
Well, last season, I think it was a similar thing, right? He didn't play at all until the last game. think he played
It
one
was
or two drives.
was it the Steelers game? I think it was the Steelers game that he played
Yeah.
in. We got smoked in that one. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't have one series, but he'd be pretty quickly. Sean was thinking that, hey, we play this team in the regular season. They're not going to want to play or do anything fancy. And I'm like, what are we going to change this season? Really, that's going to be a lot different from what we did last year
Right.
on our offense. I don't.
And by the
expect
way,
a
you're
lot.
not running all your offense. I mean,
No,
this is
no.
very vanilla.
Just get the rust off, go on one drive, and then get out of there. Maybe go on a scoring drive there, and then call it a night, and
Yep.
go into the season with some momentum there. Let's see here. Let's go back to Steve here. Watching J70 eat some sunflower seeds was a highlight of my night. He is special, and I could care less if he plays. Exactly. We are blessed to have him. Keep spitting seeds, Mr. Buffalo. And he's got like I was joking with the guys. I'm like, all Alan is thinking, Josh is thinking is like, this is the longest game, a 2-hour first half. And I'm thinking to myself, he's probably thinking, I want to get back to Haley. Can this game get over? Can we run the ball a little bit more? Take some time off the clock. But yeah, he's fantastic, Steven. He just always says the right things, right? Whenever they interview him. Let's see here. Then Mr. Smackdown coming in. Good to see you, sir. What team you support? Anyone else watching? Those Caleb's upside is through the roof, while Bajan's far below that. Just a Caleb, another Caleb hater. Gotcha.
Got some guys talking smack in the chat.
Look, he threw for what? Almost 30. He threw for almost 3,500 yards last year.
Yeah, 3,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, that's a nice year. Sacked 68 times, which is tough, but that's
brutal.
They have addressed that O-line a little bit, so that's
definitely,
good.
Definitely. What I saw tonight, they certainly addressed it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, I did watch the Swiftie New Heights. I did. Did you check it out at all? Did you get to see Taylor Swift with the
I didn't watch it
brothers?
Yet. No, I have not watched
it. I watched the whole thing, and it was good. It was well done. It was well done. Now, don't get me wrong. I was doing other things. That's why I like, my computer here. I can watch this, do some stuff here, get ready for, what we're going to be talking about this upcoming week. But yeah, I did watch it. It was crazy. I think over 10 million views, something ridiculous.
It's a lot of views.
I didn't get to catch it live. I will admit that, Weston. But you said at the end they actually crashed. It actually crashed YouTube. I don't know. I didn't hear that, but good little show. And I am a Swiftie. Proud to be a Swiftie. And that's who's not a Swiftie? Come on now. Gotta be a Swiftie. She got some great songs.
Well, I know my daughter is, that's for sure.
There you go.
Yeah. My wife is. I mean, I'm kind of like a neutral guy with that. I don't hate her. I don't love her. I'm not like a crazed fan or anything like that. I can understand the appeal for sure. So, by the way, Weston, Weston, I did want to bring that up. Your comment earlier, Big Bob Tunyon, absolutely killing it for you guys. You guys found the return of Big Bob Tunyon, the guy that was with the Packers from a few years ago. So good for you guys. I don't know how you keep finding these tight ends. Curious though, for you and Chad, I guess too, Jared Wiley, man, you guys talked him up a lot last year, as did I. I thought he was going to be something special. What's going on there? Because obviously you're going to keep Killer Trav and Noah Gray. But there's a battle now. You got Big Bob Tunyon and Jared Wiley. Who's going to be that third tight end? Is it going to be Bob Tunyon? Jared Wiley just drafted in the 4th round.
I will say a guy that reminds me, you said tight end. I thought Davidson didn't help himself again tonight. He had that offensive pass interference. Just didn't really look sharp at all. And this is now back-to-back preseason games.
It's really tough too, especially because we drafted Jackson Hawes in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Now on the Davidson play, they're running a tunnel screen there, and Greg Olsen actually pointed this out. Like Elijah Moore should not have cut outside like that. He should have cut up inside. And then on your reach block there, you don't have to necessarily put your hand on his face mask then to get to the outside there. So it's tough to help a guy when he's trying to make a play on the outside, and you gotta reach and get yourself over there to kind of shield him off. So he should have cut up inside. That's on him.
All right. Good points. Thanks for correcting me there. Kyle, the Bears fan. Look, I'm curious. I'm asking you, what do you think your team goes record-wise this year? He says it's preseason. I was just glad to see some positive points. Best wishes, all y'all. So, what do you think? What do you think of your team this year? I expect them to be pretty darn good, honestly.
NFC North is going to be fireworks. It's going to be fun to watch. Yeah.
Yep. All right, here. What do we got here? I think Chad the Chief says, I think they will have 4 active tight ends on the 53 man.
I think that's a good move for you guys. Yeah. And with Andy's creativity, you'll be in good company. So, yeah.
Says he sees a 9-win season. Off the top of my head, that's kind of what I was thinking, but maybe more. I mean, you have so many weapons. You have, Caleb Williams had you look at the numbers last year, had a really good year, and now you put a better offensive line in there. It can only get better. So let's see here. Bears will be 1 game below 500. Come on, Tony. Come on.
8-9. All right, Tone.
What the
Tone is a betting man, so
he is a betting man, but I don't know if he's got his numbers right here whatsoever. All right, let's do this. Look this up for me, Jake. What's Vegas have the over-under for wins for the Bears? Let's check it out.
Bears win.
Let's see if Tony's even close. If the overs got to be over 500. Come on.
8.5 is
there
what
you
it's
go.
set at right now.
So I think Kyle, the Bears fan, hit it spot on. He's betting the over 9 wins. Tony, come on, 1 game under 500. Dude,
wow,
terrible.
Yeah,
wonderful.
Hey, Tone, life's too short to bet the under, brother. Always bet the over. I'm going 9 wins. I agree with you, Bears fan. Love that.
Why do you doubt me? I don't know, Tony. I don't know. You haven't shared your betting cards with me last year during football season, so I haven't seen the latest. Maybe if you share that with me, maybe I'll agree with you a little bit more. So, yeah, we got a lot of battling going on there with some Bears fans. Boy, between the quarterback here.
Yeah.
We'll
you guys are in shambles right now. You guys just beat us 38-0. I know it's a preseason game, right? Don't get too excited, but geez, offense looked good. You guys were functioning well. You got your guy at coach, maybe the guy at quarterback. I don't know. I will say this, though.
Yeah.
The Bears, for whatever reason, they are like that one franchise that can ruin a quarterback. So, wishing Caleb all the best, but it's a tough track record, right? I mean, you even look, we talked about Eric Kramer earlier in the show, right? Like 1995. Yeah. After that, he was basically irrelevant. He was more or less a backup quarterback in the league. So, one good season, and after that, they got film on him, right? And kind of all went to hell. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys will be good. I think you'll be just fine. You found your right coach. The Bears have always hired, and this is a great conversation we've had in the past, Mike, defensive coordinators versus offensive coordinators, offensive-minded coach versus defensive-minded coach. You finally got a guy that's offensive-minded that I think can really put it all together. I know you tried in the back, like a few years back with Mark Trestman, worked out for a little bit and then kind of went south. But I think Ben Johnson's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wanted him, right? Everybody's like, fire McDermott. Let's go get Ben Johnson. But yeah, I mean, you saw them. They were crisp out of the gate.
Yeah, they were.
Working the short game, going deep over the middle of the tight ends. Pretty impressive. Let's see. All right.
Ghost of Judah. You guys don't have Matt Eberflus anymore, brother. He's long gone. He's now the DC in Dallas, I believe.
All right. So Jake, we're going to keep this short tonight. Obviously, we've talked about some players that we were impressed with, some players we were concerned about, some battles. We've gone over the stats. Kind of anyone catching the rewatch tomorrow morning, caught you up on all that happened. Don't worry, nothing to worry about. Two tales of 2 different teams. One team trying to build confidence under a new head coach going into the season. Another team at a point where they are contending for a Super Bowl, want to stay healthy, and want to evaluate talent. Were we a little disappointed? A little bit, but what do you expect when you have all these second, third stringers around you? Are you really expecting them to stand out against number ones? You hope for it, right? But it doesn't just happen. So good stuff there. And Jake, I want to pivot a little bit. So again, I want to pivot. I'm going to ask a lot of the chat here because we're coming up on fantasy football. And I'm going to be in a couple leagues, but we did one at work, standard PPR format, 1 starting quarterback. You're basic, but it's a lot of fun. I got to know, Tony, I hope you're still on, and I want to know from the chat, If you're in fantasy football, playing a PPR standard format league, who are you taking if you get the number one pick? Need to know this because I feel like I'm going to get the number one pick this year, Jake. So who are you taking? Jamar Chase?
Jamar Chase, no questions.
All right.
You talk consistency. I'm not saying he's going to get the Triple Crown again, Mike, but as far as consistency goes, he's got the quarterback throwing on the ball, and even so, he's still going to put up numbers. So I think it's a sure thing. I haven't seen him not go one in any draft. The only time I have, it was Bijan Robinson instead of him, and he went number 2. So,
all right. So tell me, where should I take Genty? Where should I take Genty? Did you see Genty? They was all over social media with his nice run. I mean, come on, you're always, doesn't mean you're going to be the next all-star, but based on Cody's projections for him, when we had Cody on last week, I think it was, they were off the charts. So what are you thinking? Where do you think Genty falls?
I think it kind of depends on the league that you're into. If you're in a dynasty league versus like a redraft league, it definitely differs. It could vary based on where you take him. I've seen him going as early as like middle of round 1, which is kind of a wild move. I think round 2 is probably more like it. I think round 2 is probably an average of what I've seen him going in. So I think the volume will absolutely be there. It's interesting when you look at Pete Carroll's history and the running backs that he's had throughout his career as a head coach of the NFL. I mean, you could date it back to the New England days when he had Curtis, my favorite Martin, playing running back for him. He had Marshawn Lynch. Even in Seattle, after Marshawn Lynch, Chris Carson was there for a couple of years, had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. So he's always had like a back that is the predominant back that's going to get all those carries and the volume. So I think the volume is certainly going to be there, and Genty's going to be a great pick no matter what. So I think round 2 is fair.
Okay. Where's Josh Allen go?
Josh is usually the first quarterback selected in a lot of drafts. It's typically like right at the back half of the second, maybe early third.
Wow. Do you wait till the third for Josh?
I don't. I get him. So in my mocks I've been doing, I have the last pick. So I pick 12 and then I pick, first in the second round. I've been doing like a little stack. I usually take a running back, then I get Josh right away because I don't know if I'm going to get him on the way back, so I'm a little early on it, but it's like, hey, I got my guy, like he's going to put up the numbers somehow, one way or the other.
All right. And, I got a few more minutes to kill. Give me your top 3 in fantasy football. Give me the top 3 off the board. You said Chase number 1. Who's going 2 and 3?
Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson. I mean, it's typically either another receiver or a running back at that point. So, I mean, I think Justin Jefferson is obviously
PPR league. Remember that full PPR league.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I still like Justin Jefferson a lot, Mike. I really do. I think either him or CeeDee Lamb, one of the two.
Ooh, I don't know about
maybe even Malik Neighbors, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon. Yeah, probably Saquon Barkley too, right? Thank you, Weston. How did I not think of Saquon? That's crazy.
Steve, Steve, you're funny. You're like a lot of fantasy football players. They take their favorite players on their own team. He said, I would take J17 all day. I'm not your guy for advice.
I mean, we got some viable players, right? You get Josh Allen maybe in the first. You can then stack, or not in the first, but like the second round or something, right? You could stack them with James Cook and maybe, Khalil Shakir or something, and then maybe Dalton Kincaid later on. It's tough, though. It's, in an everybody eats type offense, you don't really have those fantasy production numbers. But I think if there is a 1,000-yard receiver on the Buffalo Bills this year, it's going to be Khalil Shakir.
I think Coleman's going to have quite a few touchdowns. I
can see it. Yeah, I can see like a 10 touchdown season.
I think he even had a great day in the joint practice on Friday, right? He's only going to get better. 6'4", 220. He came in even bigger than what he was last year. He looked more fit, and he's been just vibing with Josh. I mean, how hard? It's so difficult. A 6'4" guy who plays basketball, has a great vertical. Good luck. Keeping up with that guy. So I expect
just a little box out, Antonio Gates style, right?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna say 8 touchdowns this year for him.
I like that. I like that number a lot. Yeah.
So let's see here. Tony says Coleman sucks.
He's just a hater.
Tony, we're gonna make a bet. Figure out what the bet is. We'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah, let's see what the line is on his yard.
Let's go get the over under on Coleman this year. Let's take a look, and then we'll make a little bet off of that.
Yeah.
Let's see. What Steve have to say about Coleman? Yep, there you go. I agree. I agree.
Steve. No, I mean, if we're talking PPR, Mike, I mean, Khalil Shakir is a nice option in like those middle rounds there. You know, I mean, I think 101 catches for like 1,100 yards this year is reasonable to.
What do you think about Cook? Where would you take Cook in fantasy?
He's probably third, fourth round guy.
Really?
Yeah. He's a 1,000 yard back, but he's a low 1,000 yard back. And the problem is he only plays 48% of the snaps. So the volume isn't as much as like a Saquon Barkley or even probably an Ashton Genty here. You know, I mean, it's not going to be the same. So you need more opportunities to score points. And that's why his value isn't as high as those other guys. Although his touchdowns and what he does with the limited amount of snaps he gets is pretty impressive.
Yeah. All right. Well, sound off in the comments. You see it right there. You see that cool little logo? Guess what? AI created that for me.
That's awesome.
Said, hey, give me something that says sound off in the comments, sports related, mostly focused on the Bills. It spit that out in one try. I'm like, that was the Gemini.
It looks great.
AI, right? Pretty cool. I'm like, this AI stuff is making it easier and easier to do your podcast and get your thumbnails and all your images ready.
Right. Afton Chisholm, next Julian Edelman.
Really?
I agree, Weston.
Okay. Who's he play for?
New England.
Okay.
It's
late round.
I hope it doesn't happen, but stud. He's been
maybe
crushing.
Take a chance on a late rounder there.
Yeah, I mean it's cool because just a small school guy, undrafted, Eastern Washington kid, I believe, put up some pretty damn good numbers there. I think he had like 1,300 yards or something his senior year, 13 tuds. But yeah, he's basically the next reincarnation of Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, all those guys in that Patriot system. And by the way, he has Josh McDaniels as his OC. So there you go. Crazy.
Yeah, Steve, this has been crazy. Like I said, we were talking about Hard Knocks earlier. It's been kind of boring in my opinion. No drama, which I guess is a good thing. We don't want any distractions, but in today's world, typically if you're watching a show, if it doesn't have drama in it, it's not getting great ratings. Now it will, because it's Bills Mafia and we're going to watch our Bills team. But it is interesting because, Trey White's been getting a lot of press, and Harris Coleman, it's been 100% dominant camp. It's been 100% silent on Hard Knocks. That may be his choice though. But I think you're going to start hearing about him. I got to think they're going to pivot a little bit more to maybe him, just because of the great camp that he's having and what we heard that he did in the joint practice. So we'll see. I hope they turn it up just a notch here. I thought the last one was really pretty vanilla.
Mike, you want drama?
I want drama. Of course. I want to see Josh Allen chewing someone's ass off because he hit him or something, or he ran a wrong route.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some drama.
I love this. Love this from Chad here. Wonder if Jets fans are still thinking they'll be Super Bowl contenders. I think that ship has certainly sailed. I feel like it was a rough, swift kick to the cojones for them. I love to see it.
Well, guess what? We're going to be heading out right now, but I'm going to tell you something. Stay tuned for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Jake and I are going to be on the Irish Bills Mafia. A good friend of ours, Trevor, from, I think we've known him for about 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
He's actually in Ireland. He's going to be up super late, and we're going to do a show with him. He asked us to join him. We've both done a show separately with him. We're going to be on together with him. So check it out. I'll put a link in the description of the show so you can kind of check us out tomorrow. And I'll put it in the Discord. By the way, the Discord's free. Join us. All fan bases welcome, and we have some great chat in there. And if you want fantasy football advice, jump in there. A lot of guys playing fantasy football who know their stuff, so you'll get great advice. But yeah, check us out tomorrow. Irish Bills Mafia.
It's gonna be fun.
Going to be a lot of fun. So I want to say thank you to everybody. Doesn't happen without you. Please comment. For those that are catching it on the rewatch, let us know what your thoughts were. Are you concerned with what you saw? Hopefully not. And any other thoughts you want to share with us, please comment, drop a nickel and subscribe and share. Please get us out in front of other people if you can. We would love it. And we got some fun stuff coming up. I'm waiting for the rivalry jerseys are supposed to be revealed
Yeah, the
on the
28th.
28th.
Yes.
And if it's what I think, we're going to definitely have some giveaways going on. We're going to buy some of those rivalry jerseys, a couple of them at least, and do a little fun giveaway. And we like to do fun things here, give back to folks that join us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And any final thoughts from you, Jake, before we get out of here?
Don't take this one too hard.
Yep.
24-hour rule. You're allowed to be upset, allowed to talk about it tomorrow at work, vent a little bit, but we're on to Tampa, baby. Let's go.
This is funny, Steve. Definitely was funny. Laugh moment. Yes. Crazy. All right, everyone. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. Check us out. Irish Bills Mafia tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Thank you
Go
all.
Bills. Go
Go Bills.
Bills.